Welcome to this presentation. I'm Pierre Martel, research master student in the construction engineering at GRID in Montreal. This research is directed by Professor Daniel Forgues and Professor Conrad Boton. Production and use of cost and collaborative modes. Since the end of the 20th century, the construction industry has been the object of studies and research. Among many weak points, one that has been pointed out is the lack of predictability of cost. To correct industry's weakness, some researchers suggest that traditional mode should be replaced by an integrated approach. Worldwide, inspired by such an approach, some initiatives have sparkled toward the use of collaborative modes. Among them, we can cite the integration of the supply chain in the United Kingdom, the alliance contracting in Australia, and the integrated project delivery in the United States of America. These initiatives have in common the goal of doing better projects at better cost and within faster time frame. If report of these initiatives have confirmed the success of achieving that goal, almost none has detail on how costs are produced and used in these collaborative modes. This is the main objective of this research. We were also seeking to compare collaborative mode between them and to the traditional mode. The methodology of our research is based on the Axon research, with data collected through 2 case studies and from a literature review on the integrated approach and collaborative modes. Collaborative modes share common principles. Precisely, they rely on a complete team, including people from construction and operation, and this at a very early stage of a project. The client is highly and actively involved in the project. Members of the team are considered as partners, and in most cases, share profit and risk together. With their very early involvement in the project, they share a common vision of it, and in many cases, they can focus on the global value of the end users. Also, report and paper show large impact on both the contracting and relationships aspect of a project. Our first case study is an enterprise vertically integrated. This enterprise owns and operates most of the building they build. Almost all components of a team project is present in the company. 2 vice presidencies are responsible for project delivery. The first one regroups project managers and professionals, with the exception of engineers, and is responsible for the definition and the conception of the project. The second one regroups engineers, the construction team, and the operators, and is responsible for documentation and construction of a project. Data for this case study comes from a 2-week immersion in the enterprise, followed by 18 interviews and from the analysis of over 200 digital documents provided by the company. Our second case study concerns an enterprise who owns and operates spa. They are using the integrated project delivery, better known as IPD, for their expansion plan, which will add 10 new sites to their actual offer. It's a highly flexible enterprise using agile management with the end user experience at the heart of their objectives. The owner and his team are very sensitive to value notion in a broader definition. Data for this case study come from direct observation in 3 big room sessions, followed by 9 interviews, and from the analysis of the IPD contract used, which is based on the CCDC30 contract. In the vertically integrated enterprise, the team is basically formed of employees plus external trades to cover missing enterprise. There are no direct implication of the owner and almost no implication of the operator's team. Relations between members of the project team are cordial, of course, but people from one vice presidency know very little about people of the other vice presidency. Furthermore, the separation between the two parts of the team is translated in the process itself of a project. In fact, there's little implication of members from one group into the other group's work, and the project is passed over from one to the other one between the conception phase and the documentation phase. Also, each entity of this large organization has individuals' financial objectives, which induce a reflex of protection. The overall process of realization is very similar to the traditional one. But one big difference resides in the fact that all estimates are done by the general contractor, but without the active participation of professionals. Based on our observation and interviews, the predictability of cost isn't better than what is achieved by traditional mode. So, and unfortunately, the mode of realization used by this enterprise doesn't meet the definition of a collaborative mode. The second case study is more informative about a collaborative mode. First, the team was formed before starting the project. Notably, it includes the owner, the operator's team, all professional, the general contractor, and some major trades based on the project needs. Team members are considered as partners and share together both risk and profits. Relationships within the team are strong, and people are seeking for a long-term relation. Together, they work from day one of the project. They use collaborative tools like big room sessions, being brainstorming, pool planning, common platform, value sessions, and BIM. The work is iterative and value-driven, and the goal is to realize the best project for the best cost. Estimates are prepared by sub-team, formed by client employees, operators, professional, and contractor, under the coordination of a general contractor. A great effort of all members is invested in the project definition, at the end of which the project budget is set and divided between each sub-teams. For the rest of the project, each sub-team is committed toward the respect of their part of the global budget. Furthermore, everyone is seeking ways to do the job more efficiently since all the saved money become part of the share profit as the unused risk allocations. Interviews with the experienced people confirm what is said in reports. The predictability of cost is very high. In fact, these interviewees also told us that most projects done that way are built at a better cost than one done with the traditional mode. After analysis, our research shows the following results. First, for cost, a solid and complete budget is adopted at the end of the project definition phase. Estimates are done by all members in a collaborative way. The budget is split by specialization. Each specialized sub-team takes responsibility for its share of the budget and search for ways to do better. Risks are managed by who is best to do it. Unused budget and risk allocation become part of the profit pool. Global coordination is done by the general contractor. Real costs are used, including each member cost, and there are diligent checks done by the client to guarantee it. Second, the high efficiency of this mode is due to a very well-designed project at the first phase, for which all partners are giving a high investment, including from the client and operators. This process, very similar to the integrated design process, allow a common and a clear vision of the project. Partners are also highly motivated by the collaborative contract, which prohibits pursuits between members with the guarantee to be paid for their own costs, the common risk management, and, more importantly, the share of the final profit. The inherent collaborative work induces high relationships between people, which in return allow a high sense of trust in the team and stimulate each person's best abilities. So, based on our findings, collaborative mode can achieve a high degree of predictability of forecast and timing with respect to needs and objectives of the client. Mostly, this is possible through a solid teamwork and a collaborative contract. That said, we want to underline two limitations for this research. First, only two case studies have been conducted, and one of them was in an enterprise not using a real collaborative mode. Second, the process cost and use is part of a greater process that needs to be taken into account. We also want to suggest two paths for future research. First, collaborative modes are probably more adapted to complex projects. It would be very interesting to study when and why other modes, including the traditional one, should be used. Second, there are obstacles to the adoption of collaborative modes in public projects. A pilot project would provide precise knowledge on how to address them. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a good ongoing CSCE conference.